What's the weirdest rule your parents forced you to follow? Growing up, I had a younger sister who was 10 times cuter than me, loved eating food off the floor, and spent her pastime rubbing her butt against my leg. And that sister was my dog, Hazel. You see, my mom not only considered her as a miracle baby, but also made it very clear that she saw Hazel as much more deserving of love than me. On my 14th birthday, I got a stained tissue paper with Happy B-Day written with a blue pen. But later that year, when Hazel turned 3, she got a full fondant-style dog cake with her name written in cursive, paired with a professional photo shoot to capture her entering womanhood. 3 is meant to be 21 in dog years. And when Hazel learned to sit for the first time, my mom threw a literal party and plastered her face all over Facebook. Meanwhile, I'd get wailed on for not proving that I walked 10K steps a day. And before Hazel came around, it's not like my mom was the dream mom either. She used to treat me the exact same way, except I was able to forgive her because I thought it was just anger issues. But when I saw the contrast between me and Hazel, that's when I realized that she wasn't an impatient person. She just effing hated me, lol. And honestly, I was too scared to even bring it up. Because whenever I had a friend over who mentioned it, my mom would scream at me afterwards and force me to text them a paragraph of horrible things. One time, she made me tell my friend that I was happy his dad died, because at least he won't have to deal with his BS anymore. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I would then have to get on my knees and kneel in rice and apologize to Hazel until she licked my face, a supposed sign of forgiveness. After this happened twice in a row, rumors around school went around that I was a psycho furry lover. So I pretty much gave up on making friends after that. I ended up moving out as soon as I turned 18, and it honestly took until the end of my sophomore year until I was fully adjusted to the normal world. A world that doesn't treat me as a peasant, that is. I remember being at a cafe by myself, and there was an artsy lady sitting beside me with one of those crusty white dogs that are always called Coco. It started barking at me, and I instinctively put my hand near its mouth to let it bite me, as per my mom's usual procedure. And instead of pulling my hand into its mouth and smiling, she looked at me like I was crazy and kept the dog on her lead. That was when I realized how effing psycho my mom really was. It's for this reason that when she called me 3 years later asking to reconnect, I did. Because even though she permanently ruined the way my brain works and my perspective on the world forever, she was struggling. She had arthritis, and I figured that she probably had no friends left to help. So for the first time in years, I went to her house. I didn't want any trouble, so I brought dog treats to accompany a check of $8,000 for her medical bills. I was sort of hoping Hazel would be dead by this point, but I guess my mom treated her well because she somehow still looked like a puppy. But things were different. Instead of letting her attack me when she felt angsty, I just ignored her. And when my mom pulled out the rice for me to kneel in and apologize for abandoning her, I simply refused. At first my mom seemed surprised, but by the end of the visit she was struggling to hold back her anger. It was obvious by the harsh eyebrow furrow and clenched white fists. But for the first time I didn't care. And I guess I had really earned her respect because a few days after I left, she called asking if I was working in 2 weeks. Because at the time, I worked in airport security. I was basically one of the people who pat you down and make sure you don't have anything illegal. So I figured she was asking because she was traveling and wanted to bring me a gift or something. So I told her yes, and coincidentally her flight time aligned perfectly with my work roster for that week. She was passing through the detector when it happened. It started beeping like crazy, and we both decided it was best, in terms of comfortability, if I did the procedural check. We even joked about her becoming an illegal mule. It was funny, until 5 seconds later. My hands were on her waist, and there was a huge smile on my face when she started shouting, "Help, help, this man is groping me." I was confused but chuckled anyway because I swear I thought she was pranking me, until she continued, "He just grabbed my butt and chest, please help, this man is disgusting." Suddenly, all eyes were on me. I stopped in my tracks and held my hands up in the air to show everyone I was innocent. And suddenly my manager turned around and punched me. When I looked around, all I saw was a flood of photo cameras, so I threw my reflective vest onto the floor and ran to my car. But by the time I speed drove home, I saw it was too late. There were already dozens of clips of me uploaded to Instagram and TikTok, with a collective of 400,000 views. All the comments were calling me a disgusting pig who should rot in prison. My life was over, and my mother was 100% to blame. The rest of the full story is on my channel and linked below.